I know that you have a lot that you wish to tell me, so I'm ready to listen and offer some insight into all that you have going on.
Yes. I've been feeling very down, and I'm dreading the day they take my husband from me. He's my everything. He's my companion. He's my caretaker. I don't have any hope for the future once he leaves me. Can't imagine what will happen to me once he returns to Albania. I mean, not only am I worried about myself, but there's nothing for him to return to. We have nothing in Albania. Like, everything is here. Our life is here.
I see that you care about your husband dead and you don't want him to leave. This is very hard for you. You must be enduring so much pain. What are some things that keep you going? Any interests or values?
As of late, I've spent a lot of time praying for my family. I'm very close to God. Because of my relationship to God, I'm able to have a bit of faith. We left Albania because of our faith in God. I'm, I'm very dedicated to my sons. I want them to have the best life, and that's why we came to the U.S. My family's always been a top priority. Now that we're being torn apart, it's hard to remain positive. But I think about my sons and their future. They've grown into upstanding adults. I mean, they've been very supportive through this rough time. Lawrence, Eric, they're both intelligent and they're hardworking. I could not ask for better sons. I know they're both going to be successful. They remind me so much of their dad.
You seem to care a lot about your sons and want what's best for them. It's great that you're dedicated to your family and take interest in encouraging their success in life. Your sons must feel so lucky to have such a wonderful mother who is so inspirational and encouraging. It's good that you have your religion to keep you going and to help you stay positive during this hard time. Have you thought about a plan of action that you will need to take after Dad departs? What are some ways that you plan on staying in touch with Dad once he returns to Albania?
Um, I cannot say I've put much thought into what will happen once Dad goes back to Albania. I mean, at the moment, depending on my sons to assume responsibility for my care. Um, can't help but feel guilty that my young sons will have to care for me because my multiple sclerosis will not allow me to care for myself. I feel like I'm a burden on them. Um, they're so young. They have so much going on for them. I'd like to figure out a way in order to receive help without having to depend on them solely for my care. I've thought about hiring a nurse, but to come visit me daily, but it's costly. I don't know where I would find the funds for such care. My illness is what's preventing me from being deported, but the government doesn't realize that just how much I needed Dad and his support. Like, he provided for me in every way possible. I Now that he'll be departing, I won't have the financial, I won't have the emotional support. I don't have the in-home support that he would provide for me. Once he leaves, I hope we can stay in contact by phone. I don't even know where he'd be living. Um, I mean, he'd need to settle in somewheres, and then we could start writing and calling.
I noticed that you were worrying about many things all at once. I hear you talk about how much you'll miss your husband once he leaves. Sounds like you worry a lot about him when you're also experiencing a lot of hardship physically and emotionally because of your illness. Let's focus on making a plan of action for you. You need to make sure that first and foremost, you're going to be okay. Then we can look into resources as to how we can reconnect you with your husband in the future. Let me ask you this. What does the future look like to you?
I wish that someday my family would be together again. I'll get to see my husband. We will live peacefully together. Part of me even wants to depart with him. I know it's unrealistic, but I'm going to miss him dearly. I know I must stay here for a better life. I have access to better health care. My sons are here with me. Everything my husband and I have is here in the U.S. I catch myself sometimes. I'm very stressed out. I'm very depressed. I have no idea what my future holds. So it's hard not to think so negatively when the situation's torn my family apart, and cannot help but feel upset day after day knowing that they'll be taken away from me. Everything we worked for now is gone.
On one hand, I hear you say that you want to carry on and have a good life here in the US with your boys. On the other hand, I also hear you say that you want to go back to Albania to be with your husband. The best thing that you could possibly do for yourself is to continue living the life that you and your husband worked so hard to have. Your husband would want you to have a better life here in the US rather than return to the life that you had here before coming here 17 years ago. What do you think your next step is to help diminish the negativity that surrounds your current situation?
Plan on staying involved with the church. They've been acting as our safe space, and they've been very helpful, and they've been protecting other people that are at risk of being deported. I want to remain involved in the support groups because I'm going to need a lot of emotional and social support. My sons understand. There's so many things I can't talk to them about. So it's always nice to know there are others who know what I'm going through and I'm not alone, and I can vent my frustrations to them without putting more burden on my sons.
You've been through so much, and I'm very proud of you for being able to stay strong and move forward. You have a long road ahead of you, but you have so much support and people who care about what you're going through. Sometimes we can't control situations and their outcomes, but it's possible to remain positive. It will be hard because there will be times when you feel happy that you get to see your boys develop into adults, and times when you feel sad because of the pain of missing your husband. I'll continue to work with you and stand behind you as you transition into living independently without your husband.